Hey there guys, I am about to pickle some hot peppers. These are some jalapenos, serrano. I think I might have a couple hot banana peppers in there. But I am going to be pickling up these peppers and I'm going to take you along to show you how I do it. So half of what's in this bowl were peppers that came out of my garden, and then I got a few peppers from the store as well. So because I wanted to make sure I had plenty for this canning. So I'm going to be canning these up. In the pot back here I have 3 cups of water that I'm beginning to bring to a boil. And then I have 3 cups of white vinegar. So I'm going to pour that in there. And I'm going to add to that 2 teaspoons of pink Himalayan salt, or maybe kosher salt. I'm not sure. Actually, I think I have some pickling canning salt. So let me check and see if I have that. Alright guys, so I did have the pickling salt. So I'm actually going to put 3 teaspoons in there. So I have my teaspoon here. I'm just going to, well, hopefully scoop out a full scoop of it. There we go. So that's 1. And there's 2. Alright, and we have 3. So I'm going to let that come to a rolling boil. And I have my jars over here getting ready. So I'm using 8-ounce jars to can these up. So when my water comes to a boil, I will come back and show you what I'm going to do next. Alright guys, so I went ahead and filled my jars with peppers. I still have quite a bit of peppers left, so I think I'm going to do something different with what's left. I had like half of the bowl left, so we are going to, our brine is ready. So we are going to start filling our jars with the brine. So I just used my measuring cup. And we're going to fill these to a 1/4 inch headspace. So let me get the camera down so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to stop about right under that top line, and then I will debubble and measure each of these. So I'm going to go ahead and fill the rest of these jars, and then I'll come back for the debubbling and show you how I do that and make sure that I got the correct headspace on it. Alright guys, so I got all of the jars filled with the water vinegar mixture, and I did remember there was one more thing I wanted to add to my jars, and that is this extra crunch, just to keep them a little crunchy. So I'm going to add, if I can find it, 1/8 teaspoon. I don't see my 1/8 of a teaspoon, but I have a 1/4, so I just will not fill that all the way. Just put a little crisp in each one. And then we are going to debubble and measure headspace. So we just take our debubbler here and we just press down into the jar and make sure that we kind of move it around to make sure there's no bubbles in each jar. And after you debubble, a lot of times you're going to need to add some more liquid. So that's normal, because once you press down and around there, the bubbles kind of bubble up, and that water gets, well, that mixture of vinegar and water gets all the way down into the jar. Can tell that I'm going to have to possibly add a little fluid to each one. So I need a 1/2 inch headspace. This I also use for my spacing. So actually, this one, peppers are kind of up there, but I think I need some more. I do. So I just take my little measuring cup, and as I am measuring, I just go ahead and add more of the liquid until I get to the proper head spacing. That one isn't right. Some more. And like I said, for this one, we want 1/2. Just make sure I did all those right, and I did. All right. That one's good. I need a little more for that one. All right, so now that we have the proper spacing on each one, I am going to wipe off my jar lids with some vinegar. So I'm just going to take a paper towel, and usually I have a little small bowl with vinegar in it, but I don't on this go. So I'm just going to get a little vinegar on my paper towel. This one wasn't as messy as some candies can be, like your jams and your sauces. So you want to clean around because you want to make sure you get a good seal on your jar. And this just assures that there's nothing on the lid of the jar to prevent a proper seal. So there we go there. We're going to add our lids. So I have my little magnet here. My lids are in my hot pot. And a lot of you probably, if you watch other canning videos, you probably have heard that this isn't a necessary process to actually boil your lids anymore. I just went ahead and did these. I am going to do some lids that I'm not going to boil. Some of the jars that I'm using are not ball. I got them from, where did I get those from? The Dollar General, but I'm not using the lids. So I'm going to use my ball lids because I have extra, because I keep extra lids for once I open a jar. You don't want to use the same lid again. Once you use a lid to can something, once you've opened that item, that lid is no longer any good. You can reuse your jars, and you can reuse your rings, but not your lids. So if you want to, I want to make sure that was good. All right, just finger tight. You don't want to make them really tight when you put them on your jars. And y'all, I get a lot of siphoning, which is where some of the fluid comes out of your jars. It depends on what I'm canning. So I know that I'm really not probably putting it as tight as I can, but I'm always afraid I'm going to put it too tight. So think that's why that happens to me, because it's like finger tight, but who's finger tight? You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna get my rings on all of these. I am going to get my jars into my pot. But these are smaller jars, they're trying to fall over. But I don't want them touching. I have a little star that's like, I don't know, some kind of rubbery material to keep the jars from sitting on the bottom of the pan. So as I'm able to get more in there, I can make sure that they are on that and not touching the bottom of the pan. And you want to have about 1 inch to 2 inches of water on above your jars. See, I just had a jar fall over. So after I get all of my jars in here, let me pull this one out. I got an empty jar in here because I did 9, because I thought I was gonna can up 9 jars, but I'm just gonna do the 8. All right, so let's get the rest of these in here. I might put this empty one in here just to keep these other ones from falling over. Y'all is giving me a hard time. When I do my pint jars, I don't have this much problem getting them situated. But because these are the smaller jars, and I've done my smaller ones before because I've done some jam, I'm having a little bit more problems keeping them from falling over. So it must be difficult today. All right. And actually, since I have another jar, I don't think I'm gonna need this one. So I'm gonna take this one back out. All right, we're good. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the heat up on my pot so that it can come to a rolling boil. And then after it does that, I am going to let it boil for a couple minutes just to make sure it's at a good steady rolling boil. And then I'm going to time it at 10 minutes. And then I'm going to pull the jars out and they will be done. So I will be back after we get to a rolling boil so you can see what that looks like. And then we'll let them go as they need to for the 10 minutes. And then we'll be back to show you the finished product. Alrighty guys. Alright guys, so it has been at a rolling boil for probably about 4 or 5 minutes now. So there it is. You see it's at a rolling boil. So we are starting the timer at 8:01, and so 8:11 I will turn it off, and then I will just push the pot back to the cool burner and let it sit there for a few minutes until the boiling stops, and then I will pull out the jars. So I will be back. Alright guys, so it is 8:11. Ooh, look at that steam. So let me turn this off. And then I am just going to push it back off of the eye that it is on. Woo, hot, hot, hot. The handles aren't hot, y'all. I'm just feeling the steam from the pot. So there we are. And you probably got an eye of my tomatoes because that's what I am canning up next, some tomato sauce. some pasta sauce. So really, sometimes it takes it a little bit to, oh, it's still boiling a little bit, because I was going to say sometimes it takes a little bit for that to slow down, but I'm going to give it a couple minutes, and then I am going to pull the jars out. I'll let you see the finished product, and most likely you will start hearing them seal as I am pulling them out, because they typically seal pretty quickly. You'll hear a pop. All right, guys, I'll be back. All right, guys, so let's get these jars out. Just gonna set that lid there for a moment. You just want to pull them straight up, and you want to place them on a towel, so you don't want to place them on like straight to your countertop or anything. Typically, I would put them on the countertop with the towel, but because I have so much going on today, because I am canning several things, I place the towel on the stove so you can see what's going on here. Because I got a couple other things I'm working on, guys. So, yeah. And I'm going to bring one of the jars close so you can get a close look at it. So I'll bring this one up close so you can see it. So as you can see, you hear that pop? One of my jars is already sealed, but it's not the one I'm holding. But as you can see, you see all the how the peppers have kind of shrunk up. That's normal, and you'll get that when you're canning peppers or cucumbers, anything like that. Another one just sealed. I think it was this one and that one. Those are the ones that look like they have sealed already. But if you hear a little pop, that is the seal. You probably can't see it, but when you pull them out, you hear that one. And I think that was that one. The lid has like a bump. That one just popped. That's sealed. And then when it seals, it suctions it down, and that's sealing the jar. So I will leave these overnight. I usually leave mine probably about 15 hours or so. You're supposed to leave them anywhere from 12 to 24 hours. That one just sealed. To let them rest and get a good proper seal on them before you store them up. So I usually do it about 15 hours or so, and then I will take the rings off and I will put them on the shelf where I store all of my canning jars. But I don't know if you can see that on this one. It's still bubbling a lot. There's a lot of bubbling happening in there. You see that? It's still cooking. So, yeah, guys, that's all you do to can up some peppers. There's a lot of different recipes for pickling peppers. I've seen where people put turmeric in it. I was going to do that because I do have turmeric, but I didn't know if it was going to give me the flavor that I want. So I wanted to do a round of them, just like I would typically want my peppers pickled. And then I think I will do maybe a round with the turmeric. But I'm also going to do, and I hope I'm up to filming it, some cowboy candy, which is candied jalapenos or candied hot peppers. And they are so good. I have already made some, but I only made like a couple jars just to try it out to see if I liked it before I canned up a lot of them. But guys, I'm gonna try to get myself together to have the energy to film it. Sometimes you just have the energy to get the canning done, but I'm gonna try to film that for you guys and share that recipe because it is so good. Anyway, guys, I hope you liked the video. Don't forget to thumbs up, share the video if you like the content, And I'll talk to you again soon. Alrighty, bye.